Hello and welcome to a Workbench update for the end of July. This will be the second release for the French faction for Silver Bayonet. I went through some of them in the other update, but I'll do a complete update now, which makes more sense, I think. So first thing you can see here is the Grave Golem, and he's going to be our monster for the month. He stands about 60 millimeters tall. I think the base is 50 millimeters, so taking into account he's raising his arm up, he's about 60 millimeters tall. So he's big enough to be imposing, and he will be, like I say, this month's main monster. To go with him, I also did keeping with the graveyard theme, I did a spooky spectre as well. So we've got him for this month as well. I kind of wanted to do a couple more, but I might just add them maybe next month or the month after. I like Ghost Pack. I think it looked pretty good with various different ones, but this is what I did for this month anyway. And then we go on to the rest of the French. Now, the first ones it did are some French light infantry. I did two versions of this. I obviously did the historical version and the Silver Bayonet version of the basic light infantryman, Voltigeur, or chasseur actually is what they were. But I think in the rules he comes under Voltigeur, so that's how I interpret it anyway. So yeah, we got a historical version and a Silver Bayonet version as usual, and I also did a Carbineer version, which will go in the Ascended tier. Just because I wanted to make another furry hat, because I think they look really cool. So we've got a Carbineer as well. We did the third of the infantrymen. So we've now got 3 basic line infantrymen, again with historical and Silver Bayonet versions. I've kept the kind of the uniform pattern, kind of 1806, 1809 roughly, because I just think it's a nicer looking uniform than the 1812 stuff. Then we had the Vivandary, who's an interesting character. Dispenser of brandy and good advice. So she's looking all wary with a brandy casket and a sword and a nice hussar pelisse to keep her warm. And people seem to like the bicorn, so she gets a bicorn with a big feather in it. I think that's kind of cool. What else do we have? We had some of them went over in the last update, but I'll go over them anyway. We've got the lieutenant. So you've got a junior officer for your French. And then we've got the sapper, who's my favourite so far, being a beast of a man. Again, we got Silver Bayonet version and we got a historical version coming. And he's slightly taller than 28. I've done him about 30 mil to the eye, so he's a bit more imposing on the tabletop. But not too much. And then we have our Plague Doctor, who's going to replace my normal Doctor because he looks so much cooler, I think. Because I think everyone loves that look of the Plague Doctor with the mask and stuff. So yeah, we got him. And then as another generic character, we have the Agent Provocateur, who's basically just a spy. Kind of Napoleonic Bond, if you like, Regency Bond. So he comes in 2 versions. You can have him with 2 pistols and a sword or a hand weapon. I've given a fencing sword with this one. But you can also have him with a blunderbuss. And I think, I don't know if I'll have time this month, but maybe next month for the Ascended tier, I might do him with a blunderbuss as a conversion. But he's a kind of generic character, and I looked at his stats. He's quite interesting, and I think he'd probably be a good fit for a lot of people's little war bands. But he's kind of, like I say, he's generic, all windswept and interesting Bond type chappy. I thought about it afterwards, after I actually made him, and really I should have done him in the kind of, the Doctor No pose, but no, maybe another one sometime. And then we have, I think I did these last update as well. We got some clue markers, because who doesn't like clue markers? And then what else do we have? We have the bust for the month is going to be the Sapper, because how could it not be? So he's big chappy. I think it's like 120 mil to the top of his, well, no, probably about 130 mil to the top of his feather. His plume, I should say. And then for scatter material, I haven't finished them yet, but I'm going to make some kind of, the kind of graves that lie on the floor, the gravestones that lie on the floor, on a little box, like a mini mausoleum. I'm going to do a few of them for just general scatter material, and they can double up as clue markers if you want, but they're just stuff to throw around your tabletop as scatter material. I might do some standing gravestones as well. I'll see how I get on. So yeah, that's what we've got coming. What else was there? Yes, released. It's now the 31st, so these will probably be out on Monday, which is the 3rd. So not long to wait now. And then we'll get everything in everyone's libraries, and you can start printing. So yeah, that's basically our update for July. I'm starting the next faction next week. No, I'm not. End of next week. I've got a commission next week. So the end of next week, I'll start the next faction. And that is going to be... sorry, it's not a faction. It's not a faction. The faction is the next month. Next month's going to be a baddies month. So there's going to be there's 2 generic, maybe 3 generic characters for various factions, but then the rest of them are going to be cultists, a cult leader, a demon figure, and they're all going to be kind of Venice linked. I don't know whether there's a demon in the Venice book, but there is in the main book, so that works for me. And we've got we'll have an alternative version of the demon, and some kind of, I'm thinking of a big stone summoning circle or something like that with cultists lining it. It'd probably be the same figure, you just print it multiple times and then stick lots of them around. But that's the idea I've got in my head. I'm going to do an alternate version of the British officer. So he's going to be armed with a rifle, just so you got a bit more variety, because I know people don't always just take him with a sword and a pistol. So I figure I'll go through the officers that I have done and do little conversions on them to give them different weapons. And then we've got, what else we've got? The characters. I'm going to do the Agent from Provocateur variant as well. And then we're going to have a Witch Hunter Priest. I have a particular vision in my head for that. I know it's not going to look like a Games Workshop Witch Hunter before anyone says anything. And then there's going to be a bunch of cultists for the Acolyte tier, which will be nice and generic. And I might try, if I will do, I'll do them as masked cultists, and I'll do them as barefaced cultists. So you could use them for bandits or something like that. So you've got generic stuff. So technically next month the Acolyte tier will get 8 figures instead of the usual 4. So that's a Brucey bonus. So yeah, that's what's coming. If you have any questions, you can stick them in the comments below. Otherwise, I shall see you this time next month. Bye now.